What's up, family? What it is, what it be, what it do, though. Hey, I'm driving to a client right now. Enjoying this day off. So I had yesterday off, today off. Tomorrow being Friday and Saturday. And my wife is off of work. And I'm enjoying the life. Because I haven't been able to enjoy this in a long time. Because my wife has been in school. And, you know, based on the scheduling that I've had at work, been able to basically decompress. But we have a conference call today, so I'm going to have to deal with the conference call. But what else is new? Yeah, I might be taking another position where I work, doing working from home, supporting the customers from home, which I'm definitely looking at the pros and cons, because like everything that we do in life always has a pro and con, a positive or negative, positive and negative consequence. Now, I was telling a coworker this a couple days ago, and we were discussing some, pretty heavy stuff, and this is a younger gentleman, and he's going through the rope-a-dope, with life, staying in the fight with his fists up, and trying to continue the part of the fight where he's exhausting the enemy, but in the same breath, or the same expenditure of energy, he's expending more of his own energy, allowing the enemy to continue to fight, hoping that the enemy will tire so that he can kind of retreat, reevaluate, and reattack. So we're talking about, everything that we do has a positive and negative consequence. So like, I gave the example of, I went to Dunkin' to get my coffee, and I was having a really bad day, really bad morning actually. The reason why I'm not laughing, I'm kind of chuckling, is because I went to this Tony Robbins event. I digress a little bit. I went to this Tony Robbins event a few years back, and we were listening to him talk about the interpretation of events in our lives, and using the filter that we see our reality through can dictate our thought life and our actions. And he was saying that there's no such thing as a bad day. There's only the interpretation of what a bad day is. So whatever it is that we end up experiencing, hearing, seeing, being part of, whatever our filter is, my sunglasses have a filter. It has a polarized filter. I'm glad that this guy's stopping, because that dude was running red light. Anyway, I'm sorry about that. So everything that we experience, everything that we do, everything that we see first thing in the morning doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing, even though that past experiences would say that, yeah, whatever you just saw, heard, whatever, was a bad thing. But is there a positive and negative consequence to it? Fast forward to Dunkin'. Having a bad day, the interpretation of what a bad day is. Running late. Thinking, oh man, I'm going to disappoint my client. Got a text message saying that, the deal didn't go through. And I'm already thinking, dang man, it's already starting off with a bang, with a challenge. So instead of going into that part of what I'm talking about, what I'm referencing, which is the experience at Dunkin'. I'm just going to go right into the experience at Dunkin'. So I'm having a challenging morning. I'm in a mental rut, and I know that my coffee is going to be like $2.92, and I get my $2.92. I pull up to the window. The gentleman hands me the coffee. Normally, they always ask for the $2.92 before. Immediately, I was thinking, "Oh man, this is kind of strange." Right off the bat, and he says, "The person ahead of you just paid for your coffee." I said, "Word?" I had my cash, my money, right outside the my car window, and he says, "It's on the person in front of you." That person sped off. So I said, "Well, how much is the person behind me's coffee?" He says, "Well, it's $3.61. So I gave him the $3.82. I said, "Pay for the person's behind me." And I can only imagine how long it went. The chain of, good, positive deeds for other people. But so the person ahead of me pays for my coffee. What did the person ahead of them do? Okay, what if the person ahead of them didn't have anyone pay for their coffee, but they themselves were having a really bad morning, and they decide, you know what, the person behind me looks like they could use it, and it makes me feel good doing good for other people. So they decided to do that good deed. So they were having a bad experience first thing in the morning, but they decided to filter it, or change the filter and say, you know what, based on what I'm experiencing, it's going to be a challenging day, but you know what, I can change the way that I'm seeing this, and whenever I'm having a challenging morning, based on my experiences in life, I can change that filter immediately by doing something good for someone else. I'm telling this to the young man that I work with. Positive and negative consequences. And he says, what if, how could, there be a negative consequence to that? Well, I say, well, the negative consequence to that is, again, filter. You possibly could have, with the ripples, whenever you drop a pebble in the water, ripples go out. And it's going to hit everything in its wake. I think Bruce Lee was talking about that. I don't remember verbatim about the quote, but other people can perceive that as a negative. Let's say that I'm a very prideful person, and someone pays for my coffee ahead of me, and because my self-esteem is low, I'm in depression, maybe I'm addicted to drugs and alcohol or something, self-medicating, and somebody does something good for me, I immediately think, oh man, it's a handout. Maybe I'm struggling financially and I can't afford that $2.92 coffee. And someone ahead of me pays for my coffee, and I'm thinking, hey man, that's just a confirmation that I'm no good, I'm not worth it, I'm financially ruined, I'm never going to get out of this rut, and people are noticing it. Positive and negative consequences. But that negative consequence doesn't fall on the person who did that positive action. It's just the interpretation of what that positive action was when it reaches the person that is on the receiving end. But we can't control other people's perceptions. You know what I'm saying? So the conversation was a lot deeper than that, because it had to do with some serious life stuff, life challenging stuff. And when I left the house to go to my clients, which right now, I was thinking about I'm playing PUBG with my friends at night, which I'm thinking about starting to live stream that, because I might as well do it, because I'm not I'm not making any videos on PUBG, and I'm still playing War Robots. But I was thinking about with the guys that I play with in PUBG, it's like we have a good game and then we have like 5 really bad games. And there's a lot of cheaters, hackers, and separating all of the hackers, the cheaters, from this equation got me thinking. This conversation with this coworker of mine, this friend of mine, that when we're playing the game, whether it's a console game or PC game, mobile game, the game of life, when we lose that bout, when we lose that fight, when we lose that exchange or whatever, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're bad players, that we're not capable, that we're unable, that we will never be good enough. It just means that we haven't gotten there yet. We're still learning. There's something that we need to tweak. There's something that we need to button up in our game. I'm air quoting that because the game of life, and it's also in literal terms, the game PUBG, War Robots, Call of Duty, whatever it is that you guys play. It's like this high school math teacher. I saw this on Facebook one day. It was a failing grade this student got. And the student was incredibly defeated because they needed to pass this particular test. And instead of just saying F without any explanation, the teacher wrote in, "You're just not there yet. Keep going." And that really hit me because if I was a teacher, which I was thinking about being a teacher, but not in today's environment, heck no. If I was a teacher, I would be one of those that would leave those encouraging notes on papers, on tests, exams, quizzes, anything that was submitted for homework. You're doing great, keep going. You're not there yet, keep going. And the other thing that I learned from the Tony Robbins events was that success leaves breadcrumbs. And if you see somebody that is doing great in that you're trying to get better at, seek them out, ask them how it is that they do it. What was their process? And I can guarantee you ask that person, they'll be glad to share with you, because everyone wants to share something that they've done because they feel important. And that's definitely in life too. Like Pursuit of Happiness, that movie Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith. He sees that gentleman park his car out in front of that business, and he's like, what do I got to do to get a car like this? He tells him. But yeah, man, I just wanted to drop that on you. I know this is deep, but I know a lot of you guys are going through some stuff in life that's really challenging, and it's hard to change the filter. But if you get outside of yourself and just go out there and do something nice for somebody else without expecting anything in return, I promise it will feed your soul. You may even see a side of yourself that you never even knew existed. Maybe you might even see a side of other people, strangers, that you didn't know existed. And I made the mistake many times of saying, we're all in the same boat, we're all in the same boat, we're all in the same boat. No, we're really not. And we may be on the same turbulent ocean, but some people have a yacht, a Titanic type ship that no matter what the amount of turbulence that's in the sea is throwing at us, you just don't feel it. You don't exist, or the turbulence doesn't even exist when you go outside of your cabin or outside of your hull or whatever it is that they call it. Yeah, you might see it. You might even see it on your TV, your satellite TV. You're not watching Netflix and air conditioned. And other people are on paddle boards, hanging on for dear life, maybe on floating blocks of wood, tree limbs, trying to stay up. Maybe you don't have anything to float on, and you're just treading water, and water keeps going over your face, and every time you try to take a breath, you get water in your lungs. Wherever you are in life, man, you're just not there yet. Whatever it is, you can get there. I mean, I'm sure you have gifts and talents that you may not even have shared with the world yet. Share it with the world. You never know. Like I've heard a few times, there are people crying themselves to sleep because they haven't heard your story. That's why I made this YouTube channel. Because I know that I have a story to tell of encouragement for those who are discouraged. And if I can be one flickering, still spark or flame off in the distance, it can be just enough to, signal those who are in need of a direction, a positive direction, because of the mistakes that I've made in life, the mistakes that I currently make in life, and the lessons that I've learned along the way, and the lessons that I'm learning today. So keep your head up, figuratively and literally. Today's a brand new day. Tomorrow's another day to try something new, try a different course, try a different strategy. Because if you're not there yet, you know it. But it doesn't mean that you're a failure. It just means that you're not there yet. I love you guys. And no matter where you are in the world, I hope you, your friends, and your family are happy, healthy, and safe. Let me take my glasses off so you can see my eyes. Like I said, you're not there yet. And if you are, look around for the signs of people that aren't. Encourage them and lift them up, because they might not necessarily know how to ask for help. They may not necessarily be at the very end or the very depth of the bottom of the barrel, but they know they're there soon, or they know that they're close because they can smell it. The toes can touch it. But somebody who has been there can say, hey man, what's up? Let me share my story. Peace.